Chapter 1. Bunny arrived late as usual, holding slightly crumpled bunch of wildflowers she had grabbed on the way. Her heart was racing, not just from the bumpy rickshaw ride through the city's traffic, but also from the familiar nervousness of walking into a room full of people who didn't quite feel like her people. The gallery was warm and softly lit, filled with light, chatter, and background music. Bright, bold paintings lined the walls, so much like Rima. Near the main piece, Rima and Tina were already deep in conversation, laughing. Bunny's face lit up when she saw them. There you are! Rima came over and hugged her tightly. We thought you ditched us. Sorry, Bunny said, slightly out of breath. Staff meeting ran late, and then the rickshaw driver turned into a philosopher halfway through. Tina smirked. We were actually guessing your excuses. Stray dog rescue, endless paper checking, or traffic drama. Bunny, Bunny laughed. Didn't rescue the dog, but I did give him a name in my head. The three of them laughed together. The warmth was still there, but Bunny felt something just under the surface. Something she couldn't quite name. A distance, maybe? Rima was soon pulled away by a group admiring her work. Bunny and Tina stood side by side, sipping juice and watching people move around, dressed in silks and satins. You know, Tina said, glancing over. We're 27 now. You're still so awkward at these things. Don't you ever grow out of it? Bunny gave a small, lopsided smile. I never learned how to stand around and be noticed without feeling like I did something wrong. Rima came back, just in time to catch that. Leave her alone, she said with a grin. She works with kids all days, probably just wants some quiet. They all laughed again, but Bunny's smile didn't quite reach her eyes. A few minutes later, she excused herself and went to the washroom. The quiet there wrapped around her like something familiar. She splashed water on her face and looked at her reflection, trying to smile. Then she heard voices. Two women chatting outside the slightly open door. So it's five of us. Tina, Rima, Meena, Shruti and Priya, one said. I can't believe it's actually happening. It's Goa! Tina's already booked the villa, the other replied. We leave Friday. Bunny stood still. The water kept running, but everything else inside her felt frozen. Five of them. Tina, Rima, but not her. No one had mentioned the trip, not even Rima or Tina. Her chest tightened, not with anger, but with something softer, sadder, like being left out, like being forgotten. She turned off the tap and dried her hands slowly. Her face felt hot, but she put on the smile she saved for her students, one that said she was fine, even when she wasn't. Because sometimes, even with close friends, things they don't say hurt the most. Chapter 2. It was a warm, dusty afternoon. The street buzzed with life, horns blaring, street vendors shouting, children chasing each other down the narrow lanes. Amid the chaos stood an old house, faded but strong, like a memory that refused to fade. Tina stood outside the gate, arms crossed, her expression firm. Beside her was Arjun, her cousin, back from abroad, sharp in both suit and tongue. He stared at the house, unimpressed. Why is she still holding on to this place? We're offering triple the market rate, he said, adjusting his watch. Triple, Tina. She is not selling, Tina replied calmly. You don't get it, do you? This house, this land, it's ancestral. It's all she has left of her family, the only piece of them that still exists. Arjun scoffed slightly. All right, no need for the speech. He looked away, as if already planning his next move. Later that evening at Tina's apartment, the clink of teacups and the soft hum of the ceiling fan filled the living room. Rima lounged on the couch, her hair tied up in a messy bun, a cushion hugged to her chest. Tina sat opposite her, sipping her tea slowly. So, Tina said, he asked again about the house. Rima raised an eyebrow. And I told him it was her only memory of her family, that she'd never part with it. Both times I was with her. She nearly gave it the second time. She's too trusting. She really is, Rima said, shaking her head. She doesn't realize how dangerous people can be. That land is her future security, Tina said. But she doesn't see it like that. She still thinks people as good. even when they clearly aren't. Stupid girl. But he's cute, though, Rima said. What? Who? Tina asked, surprised. Rima replied with a smile. Arjun? Her cheeks flushing red. Oh my god. You like him, don't you? Tina said, grinning. I can set you up if you want. I'd love to have you as a sister in law, she added. Hey, stop it. Let it just be a crush for a while, Rima said, laughing. They both giggled. Chapter 3. The elevator hummed quietly as it ascended. Bunny stood with her hands clasped, a soft smile on her face. She hadn't been to Tina's place in a while. It felt nice to visit. Just as the door slid open on Tina's floor, a man stepped in beside her. They both smiled politely, then walked out together. For a moment, they stood side by side in front of the apartment, not saying anything, just two strangers heading to the same place. I'm Arjun, he said finally, offering a small smile. Bunny, she replied. The door opened just as they were about to ring. Tina's expression shifted quickly from relaxed to surprised. You guys? You know each other? Tina asked, eyebrows raised. Bunny looked confused. No, we just met in the lift. Tina blinked. Oh, Bunny, this is Arjun, my cousin. Arjun, Bunny. Oh, nice to finally meet you, Arjun said with a charming nod. Same here, Bunny replied. Arjun stepped in. He grabbed his small duffel bag from near the door. I was just picking up my luggage, he said casually. Got some things to take care of. As he turned to leave, he smiled politely at the girls. Hope you enjoy your trip to Goa. There was a slight pause. Rima and Tina looked at each other briefly, their smiles thinning. Bunny's expression shifted too, surprised less with something quieter. Sensing the shift, Arjun gave a quick nod and left. The door clicked shut behind him. Uh, we were just about to tell you, Tina said, breaking the silence. It was a last moment plan, honestly. Rima nodded. A little too fast. Yeah, we didn't mean to leave you or anything. Bunny smiled, her voice calm. It's okay, really. You have other friends too. I get it. Please don't feel guilty. But before the silence could settle in, Rima stepped forward. No, Bunny, that's not it. We're sorry we didn't tell you sooner. But the truth is, our trip isn't complete without you. You have to come. Bunny looked at them for a moment, searching their faces. Then she nodded slowly. Okay. And just like that, the awkward air lifted. Only slightly, but enough. Rima clapped her hands, trying to lighten the mood. Great! Then it's settled. She grinned. Let's make it 8 a.m., the day after tomorrow. Don't be late, Bunny. You're usually the last one to show up. Bunny smiled, the corners of her lips tugging upward. I try my best. Tina chuckled. That's Bunny's way of saying, I'll be there at 8:30. They all laughed softly, and just for a moment things felt like old times again. Chapter 4. Outside the airport, Tina stood near the drop off zone, checking her phone and glancing at the time now and then. The morning sun was already warming up the air, and there was a steady buzz of travelers all around. Soon Rima arrived, chatting and laughing with two other girls. They rolled the trolley over and hugged Tina. Hey, you okay? Rima asked, noticing Tina's face wasn't as cheerful as usual. Tina smiled faintly. Yeah, I don't know. I've waited for this break for so long. I just hope we can enjoy it. No drama, no stress. Rima reached out and held Tina's hand gently. Don't worry, it will be a great trip. Let's just relax and have fun, okay? Tina nodded, her smile growing a bit more genuine. A few kilometers away, Bunny stood at the side of the road, pulling her trolley behind her. She checked her phone, trying to book a taxi. Nothing was available nearby. Just then, a silver SUV pulled up beside her. The window rolled down. Need a ride? It was Arjun. Bunny blinked. Oh, hi. I was just waiting for a taxi. I'm heading that way. Hop in. I'll be faster. She hesitated for a second, then nodded. Okay, thanks. Inside the car, the silence didn't last long. Arjun asked about her school, and she talked about her students. He, a- he told her bits about his business plans and growing away from home. When Tina came up in conversation, Arjun laughed. Your friend is very sharp. Bunny chuckled. Yeah, she's always been the sensible one. Their conversation flowed easily. They laughed at silly memories and even joked about how different people are after school. Before long, they reached the airport. Thanks for the ride, Bunny said as she stepped out. When Bunny stepped into the lobby with Arjun beside her, the rest of the girls turned. Rima waved excitedly. Tina raised a brow at her brother but said nothing. The group was larger than Bunny expected. Four more girls, all chatting, laughing, makeup perfectly done, beach bags slung over their shoulders. Bunny's smile faltered, her posture stiffened, her eyes flicked over the girls, and an unmaskable expression crossed her face disappointment. The girls noticed. Rima exchanged a look with Tina. Here we go. Rima gently pulled Bunny aside. Hey, why don't you try talking to them? They are actually very sweet. Bunny shook her head, her tone a little too sharp. It's okay. I'd rather stick with you. You're my comfort. Rima hesitated, then nodded. Over the next few hours, as they lounged by the poolside and sipped coolers, Bunny clung to Rima, talking nonstop about her school, her childhood, her opinion on friendships and life. Every time Rima tried to get up, Bunny pulled her back with yet another story or complaint. The others grew quiet. They tried joining in once or twice, but Bunny barely acknowledged them. Sensing the awkwardness, Tina clapped her hands. Okay, guys, enough chilling. Let's go for a swim before the sun goes down. Yes, one of the girls cheered, but Bunny's voice cut in. Actually, everyone looks tired. Maybe we can stay in the hotel and play Uno. Tina blinked, forcing a smile. It's a beach trip, Bunny. We came here to get wet. I'm just saying we can do something relaxing. Not everyone enjoys swimming. The tension was almost visible. Tina let out a sharp exhale. All right, you stay, we'll go. The others left, a little hesitant but relieved. Rima But Rima looked confused. Go, Rames. Seriously, I'll be fine, Bunny said sweetly. But her eyes said something else, like a silent plea to stay. So Rima stayed. They sat on the balcony, sipping mocktails. Bunny talked more about how people always misunderstood her, how lonely she felt, how good she was to her friends, and how little she received in return. Rima smiled and nodded, but inside her patience frayed, thread by thread. Later that night, everyone gathered again. This time, the girls were dressed up sequins, heels, perfume. We are heading to the club down the beach, Tina announced. Girls' night. Bunny frowned. A club? With random boys? Tina raised a brow. Yes, it's Goa, not a convent. I thought we could walk by the beach, talk, watch the waves. That's so much better than noise and strangers. Tina tried to hold it in, but she couldn't anymore. This, she snapped, is exactly why we don't like hanging out with you, Bunny. Silence fell. You're so annoying. We're here to have fun, not sit and listen to your boring life stories. We barely get time to enjoy ourselves, and you ruin everything. Bunny stared at her, stung. Who's stopping you? Go ahead and enjoy. I didn't ask you to stay. Tina's voice trembled with anger. Do you think we can enjoy living you here with you giving us that guilt-ridden look and make it seem like we're monsters? Bunny's cheeks turned red. Her throat tightened. Rima stood still, caught between them. Tina grabbed her purse. Come if you want, Rima. Then she walked out, the other girls following. Rima looked at Bunny. For a moment, she almost stayed. But then she shook her head. I'll be back in an hour. Try to reflect, please. And she left too. Bunny sat alone on the hotel bed, the sound of the waves outside no longer comforting, but mocking. Her hands were cold, her face burned. Why does this always happen to me? She thought. Chapter 5. Bunny sat alone on the balcony, knees hugged to her chest, the night breeze brushing past her bare arms, the distant thump of club music carried faintly through the wind. She stared out at the moonlit ocean, heart heavy with all the words left unsaid. Why does this always happen to me? She thought. I care. I try. I'm nice to everyone, but somehow I'm always the odd one out. She unlocked her phone out of habit, and there it was, a friend request from Arjun. Her lips twitched in a soft smile. She tapped accept. Almost instantly, a message popped up. Arjun. Hi, Miss Bunny. Aren't you supposed to put your phone away and go have fun? She chuckled. I'm not much of a club person. The girls went. I'm still on the veranda enjoying the view. Arjun. Whoa, I respect that. Most people wouldn't be okay sitting alone on a trip like this. Takes strength to choose what you like, even if it means being left behind. Her smile widened. Something about the way he said it made her feel seen. The conversation stretched effortlessly, flowing from favorite songs to childhood memories, laughter, playful teasing, even a few shared insecurities. For the first time that day, Bunny forgot the fight, forgot the guilt. Before ending the chat, Arjun typed, Let's meet for coffee once you're back. Just us. No drama. Bunny would love that. The next morning, Tina called Rima and Bunny aside after breakfast. Her expression was tight, guarded. Look, she began. About last night, I just wanted to say I'm not sure I enjoyed my holiday. The girls must have felt so awkward too. Bunny's face twisted in disbelief. Seriously? You didn't enjoy? You did everything you wanted. I was the one left alone. Still, I didn't complain. What exactly are you trying to say? Tina rolled her eyes. Do you even understand what I'm trying to say? Yes, I do, Bunny snapped. You're saying that you couldn't enjoy because of me, even though I never stopped any of you. You're just blaming me for your own guilt. Tina's patience snapped. This is exactly why I don't hang out with you, Bunny. You turn everything into a guilt trip. Oh God, stop blaming me for your selfishness, Bunny shot back. Just admit it. You don't like it when someone doesn't follow your script. Guys, stop! Rima stepped in, holding both their arms. Let's not spoil what's left of the trip. We have one day left. Let's just forget everything and make the most of it. Silence fell. Then Tina sighed, smoothing her hair back. All right. The girls, including Rima and I, had already planned some water activities for today. It was decided weeks ago. I hope that's fine with you. Bunny took a deep breath and smiled stiffly. Yes, of course. Why would I have problem with that? Rima chuckled, sensing the storm had passed. Okay, okay. Hug it out, girls. Reluctantly, they all embraced. Chapter 6. The return flight was quiet. No group selfies, no excited chatter, just tired faces and lingering thoughts. Outside the airport, Arjun was already waiting by his car, leaning casually on the door, waving as the girls stepped out. Bunny, half lost in thought, instinctively walked ahead and reached for the front seat door. Just as she pulled the handle, Tina grabbed her wrist and whispered sharply, What are you doing? Bunny blinked, surprised. I was just. Let Rima sit next to him, Tina said, lowering her voice but making her eyes wide. She has a crush on him. Come on, we need to root for them. Bunny hesitated, a flicker of confusion, maybe even disappointment passing over her face. But she nodded and quietly moved to the back seat with Tina. Rima sat in front, a bit awkwardly at first, while Arjun greeted everyone with his usual easy smile and started the car. Bunny leaned against the window, telling herself she just needed sleep. As they neared the stop, Bunny yawned. I think I'll just go home and rest. I'm exhausted. Tina nodded. Sure, you go. Rima, why don't you come over to my place? Arjun made plans to cook something for us. Rima looked unsure for a second, but gave a small nod. Later that evening, the kitchen was filled with the smell of sauteed garlic and spices. Arjun stood by the stove, apron tied loosely, humming to himself as he stirred the pot. Tina and Rima watched from the dining table amused. You cook better than half the guys I know, Tina joked. Flattery gets you an extra serving, Arjun grinned. They laughed and passed teasing comments, the mood lighter than it had been in days. Tina, ever the matchmaker, kept leaving them alone, pretending to check her phone in the room, or suddenly needing water, or just casually stepping out to the balcony with a grin. Rima smiled politely, answering Arjun's questions, her fingers tapping nervously on the glass. Arjun, meanwhile, stayed his usual chill self, cracking jokes and being warm, but never giving too much away. Somewhere between the laughter and the silence, the space between them still felt undefined. Chapter 7. Bunny had barely made it to her bed before crashing out, her body heavy with exhaustion. The trip had been a lot, more emotionally than physically. Hours later, the quiet buzz of her phone broke through the silence. She squinted at the screen. Arjun. Hey, hope you reached safe. Can't sleep. Figured I'd text. Somehow sleep faded from her eyes. Her fingers moved fast. Yeah, just woke up. Couldn't sleep either. One text led to another. Soon they were deep in conversation, light teasing, a few jokes, and then Bunny found herself opening up. She ended up telling him everything about the trip, the tension, the arguments, her awkwardness, everything she hadn't shared with anyone. Arjun listened, patient, kind. His voice through the call was calm. Dina's not bad, Bunny. She just comes off too strong sometimes. She means well, even if it doesn't feel that way. Bunny didn't reply for a moment. Then she whispered, Hmm, forgive her. You'll feel better, he added. Bunny gave a faint smile. Maybe. They talked till sleep crept back in. The next morning, Bunny woke up feeling different, lighter, maybe even a bit happy. She freshened up quickly, humming a tune without realizing. Her heart felt open again. She picked up her phone and scrolled through her gallery. So many memories. Despite the tough parts, there were some sweet moments. Smiling, she opened her social media app to upload a few group pictures from the trip. But before she could, a photo on her feed caught her eye. Her fingers froze. It was Tina's upload. A happy photo, bright, warm, loud. Tina, Rima, Arjun. Arjun stood at the kitchen counter, apron on, pan in one hand and a knife in the other, playfully looking at Rima, who sat laughing on the kitchen slab. Tina took the selfie, her smile wide. The caption read, Happiest moment, no filters needed. There was no sign of the beach, no group photos, no memories of the trip, just one picture that somehow said everything. Bunny's chest tightened. She couldn't explain what she felt. Left out? Replaced? She didn't understand it fully, but it hurt. Her phone dropped to her lap, and the mood that had started so fresh and alive now sat dull and heavy. Chapter 8. Morning sunlight streamed in through the kitchen window. Tina and Rima sat at the table quietly eating breakfast, dressed and ready for work. The clink of spoon and light buzz of traffic outside filled the silence. Rima scrolled through her phone casually when something caught her eyes. Hey, you just uploaded this pic, she asked, tilting the screen towards Tina. Tina glanced at it. Yeah, last night. Rima's eyebrows rose. Why didn't you upload anything from the trip? Tina shrugged. "Mm, I don't know. I didn't enjoy it much, to be honest. And I don't want to post just for the sake of it. I like sharing things that actually feel meaningful to me. Rima blinked. Okay, okay, too much explanation. I was just worried Bunny might feel bad. Oh, come on. Tina rolled her eyes. She isn't a kid. Rima looked at her for a moment and said softly, Every one of us are kids inside, Tina. Tina didn't respond for a second. She stirred her coffee slowly, then mumbled, All right, you guys carry on with feeling bad and taking care of each other's stuff. As if that's the only thing left to do in this world. I'm out of it. Rima gave a small sigh and went back to her toast. Tina stood, slinging her bag over her shoulder, ready to leave. As she reached the door, she suddenly paused and turned around with a sly smile. Oh, and yes, next week it's Bunny's birthday. She leaned against the doorframe. And yours too. Just the day before. Rima looked up curious. I definitely have something planned for Bunny, Tina said, then narrowed her eyes teasingly. But for you, I have nothing. You! Rima burst out laughing and picked up the nearest box of tissues, tossing it at her. Tina ducked, laughing as she stepped out the door. The door closed behind her, leaving Rima grinning, shaking her head. Chapter 9. Bunny sat by the window watching the sky slowly turn orange. Her mind wandered. Something didn't feel right these days. Her friends, Tina, Rima, were being distant, weird even, like she didn't belong in their circle anymore. She hugged her knees, the silence around her pressing in. Just then, her phone buzzed. Rima calling. Bunny stared at the screen for a moment, then picked it up. Hey, Bunny! Rima's voice came through, light and cheerful. How have you been? Haven't seen you around much lately. Bunny listened but didn't respond. Something about the call felt off, like a formality, like a checkbox. Without a word, she hung up. A few days passed. Bunny stayed quiet, scrolling through social media now and then. One evening, she saw a photo Rima had uploaded, posting with some of her office friends at team lunch. Everyone smiling, dressed up. Bunny's stomach sank. Is she trying to show off? She wondered. Trying to make me feel left out? Later that afternoon, another photo appeared. This time, Rima and Arjun sitting across a table, laughing at something. Caught mid smile. Both in the same frame. Bunny froze. Her chest tightened. That night, unable to take it anymore, Bunny picked up her phone and called Arjun. Hey, she said quietly. Are you in love with Rima? There was a pause. Then Arjun replied calmly. No, not at all. Bunny's heart pounded. Then, who do you like? You, he said. I thought you already knew. Bunny didn't speak for a second. Then a smile slowly formed on her face. A sudden wave of relief washed over her, followed by joy. She laughed silently at first, then out loud. She stood up, twirling once, feeling like everything had fallen into place. At that moment, she felt like she didn't need anything else. The right person had always been behind her, and that was enough. Chapter 10. Tina had planned everything down the tiniest detail. Rima's birthday party was simple but elegant. Some close friends, a cozy setup, and laughter all around. A soft cake sat on the table. Balloons floated lazily, and a small envelope rested on Tina's lap. Inside was a surprise, a private dinner booking for Rima and Arjun. Soon the birthday girl arrived, smiling wide, greeted with cheers and hugs. The party was going well. Everyone was chatting, eating, and enjoying. Bunny, as usual, was late. But when she finally arrived, everything changed. Because she wasn't alone. She entered holding Arjun's hand. Gasps flew across the room, a few awkward smiles, but most faces froze, especially Tina's. Her eyes locked on the two of them, her hands clenched, the envelope with the dinner plans crossed slightly between her fingers. Stupid! Tina stood up, voice shaking. Are you crazy? What are you trying to do? Even after knowing everything, you appear like this? Her voice rose. You were sick. Rima stood alarmed. Tina, calm down. It's okay. I wasn't that serious from my side. I was just goofing around. I'm happy for them. She gave a faint smile. But Bunny scoffed. Of course. That's so wonderful of you. Always trying to look like the bigger person. She looked at Rima, a smirk on her lips. How fake you can be, being sweet to both sides, but secretly stirring things behind the scenes. Rima's smile faded. What? Bunny? I never. Oh, please, Bunny cut in. Don't act surprised now. You have always tried to keep me close and push me away at the same time. You never liked me being close with Tina. Tina's face turned red. Enough, you crazy, psycho, and unkind. Shame on you. Just then, Arjun stepped forward. Tina, stop! Don't talk to Bunny like that. You're being unfair. Tina looked at him like she didn't recognize him anymore. She turned to Bunny. We're done. Don't show your face ever again. Bunny flinched for a moment, but Arjun gripped her hand tighter. Without another word, he walked her out of the room. Rima stood frozen in place. The candlelight flickered. No one said a word. The party was over. Chapter 11. Days passed. The silence from Tina and Rima didn't bother Bunny anymore because Arjun was there. He held her hand not just once in public, but every day after. He stood by her when things got ugly, and now he was the center of her world. One evening, while watching the sunset together, he looked at her with soft eyes and said, Someday, I would like to marry you. Bunny's heart skipped. For the first time in a long while, she felt safe, wanted, protected. Everything changed after that. They traveled, Short weekend trips, small getaways. Arjun always planned something thoughtful. They shared food from roadside stalls, posed for silly selfies, explored local cafes, and spent long quiet evenings just talking. And yes, they posted a lot. Photos filled Bunny's feed now. Her smiles were brighter, her caption full of warmth. She didn't care anymore if Tina saw or Rima. Let them be. She had Arjun, and that was enough. For now, the past didn't matter. Or so she thought. Chapter 12. Tina was still upset, but it wasn't anger anymore. It was disappointment, confusion, and worry, especially about Rima. So one evening she dropped by Rima's place with a tub of ice cream and a half hearted apology ready on her lips. But to her surprise, Rima opened the door with a big smile, hair freshly brushed, wearing comfy pajamas, and humming a song. She looked fine, actually, better than fine. They sat down, talked, laughed even, and slowly it hit Tina. Rima was really okay, maybe even genuinely happy. She remembered Rima once saying Arjun was just a small crush. Tina had taken it too far. She had stretched it, created a whole love angle in her head. Maybe because she wanted things to look a certain way. Tina felt stupid, immature even. All this drama for what? She apologized to Rima quietly that night without making it a big deal. Rima just smiled and said, "Sometimes we protect others so much, we forget to ask them how they feel." Tina nodded, but one thing was sure. She wasn't ready to make amends with Bunny. The respect she had for her, it was gone. That betrayal stung too deeply. So much so that she hadn't seen Bunny since that party, and she didn't want to. Still, a part of her felt responsible, so she called Arjun. "I just wanted to say sorry," she told him, "for dragging you into the mess. None of it was your fault." Arjun was quiet for a moment. "I appreciate that," he finally said. "But Tina, please, don't bother Bunny anymore. I really care about her. I plan to marry her one day." Tina's lips parted slightly in surprise. She wasn't expecting that. Uh, okay, she managed to say, giving a small nod, even though he couldn't see it. "Take care," Arjun added before hanging up. Tina sat in silence, processing, confused still, but somehow a little more at peace. It wasn't the ending she expected, but maybe it was the ending needed. Chapter 13. A few days after Arjun's heartfelt plea to Bunny about the ancestral land, everything seemed perfect. He had told her that he wanted to build something big for the future, and Bunny, blinded by love, believed every word. "I don't want to buy it from you," he had said. "I just want to feel like I've earned it, like I'm not living off you." That made sense. It felt humble, romantic even. So Bunny smiled and said, "All right, give me a few days. I'll get the papers ready." Arjun had grinned like a boy who got his first dream job. He lifted her off the floor and spun her around in joy. Bunny believed she was the luckiest woman in the world. Until that afternoon, she had decided to surprise him with his favorite snacks and even a silly note. But when she rang the bell, it wasn't Arjun who opened the door, it was his assistant. "Oh, hey, I came to surprise him," she whispered, tiptoeing in. The assistant didn't stop her. As she approached the bedroom, she heard murmurs, soft, flirtatious, dangerously familiar. Then a chuckle, Arjun's voice. "Don't worry, babe. It's all going according to plan. Once the papers are signed, I'll get rid of her. She's just emotional baggage. We'll be free." Silence. Her heart stopped. "Yeah, the drama will end soon. Just a few more days. I'll have the land, and we'll have everything we dreamed of." Bunny froze. Her skin turned cold. The tray in her hand slipped silently to the floor. She turned to run, but the assistant was right behind her. Loudly, he said, "Sir, she's here." Arjun stepped out. His expression dropped, seeing her face. Stunned, pale, betrayed. "Bunny, it's not what it sounds like." But she stepped back in horror. "I'll never let it happen," she screamed. "I'm not selling you the land." In a flash, Arjun's mask dropped. "You think you can play with me?" he growled, his eyes darkening. "You owe me everything." Bunny spat on his face, trembling. That was the last straw. He grabbed her violently, his assistant helping him. They tied her wrist, shoved a cloth into her mouth, and dragged her into the storeroom. Go, get the land papers from her house, Arjun ordered, panting in rage. The men left. Hours later, the men returned empty handed. No papers, they muttered. Furious, Arjun stormed in and slapped Bunny across the face. Where are the papers? He bellowed. Bunny, blood on her lips, sobbed and shook her head. Then he grabbed her again, holding her by the jaw. I will kill you right here. Don't test me. Bunny, breathing hard, finally broke. Her voice was dry and shaking. The Irwit Rima. Arjun's eyes narrowed. Chapter 14. Tina walked towards Rima's art gallery, her eyes scanning the area. From a distance, she caught sight of a man stepping out of the building. It was Arjun. Her eyes narrowed. What is he doing here? She waited until he was out of sight, then pushed the glass door open. Rima was adjusting some canvases. Hey, Tina said, walking in casually. Was that Arjun I saw walking out of here? Rima looked up surprised. Oh, yes. He just left a minute ago. Tina tilted her head. What did he want? Rima shrugged, still clearly confused herself. He said he and Bunny are going to get married. Tina raised a brow. Oh, that's not all, Rima added. He asked me for the property papers. He said Bunny told him to collect them from me. Tina's eyes narrowed. What? He said they're going to use the ancestral land for some business project. That Bunny wants to make the most out of it. It sounded so sudden. Weird, right? Then, then Rima slowly turned to Tina. But wait, the papers are with you, right? Tina nodded slowly, her face growing pale. Wait, she asked sharply. Did you tell him that? Rima shook her head quickly. No, I don't know why, but I didn't want to. Tina let out a breath. Good. She grabbed her bag. We need to go. Where? Rima asked, stepping forward. To the police. Rima blinked. Wait, why? Tina turned at the door, urgency in her eyes. Bunny is in danger. Rima's voice trembled. Wait, will you please tell me what's going on? Tina took a deep breath, then spoke fast. That idiot Arjun doesn't love Bunny. His only motive was the property. That's why he faked everything, proposing, being sweet, all of it. Rima gasped. How do you know that? Tina's face tightened. Because there is no way Bunny told him to take the property from you. That's not even her ancestral land. What? Rima whispered. That, that land was taken over from a man who owed a huge debt to Bunny's dad, Tina explained. After her dad died, the man never paid it back. I helped Bunny legally recover it. We fought for it. Rima stared in shock. So if Arjun's going around saying it's her ancestral property and she asked him to use it for business, then he's lying, Rima finished, realizing the weight of it. Tina nodded grimly. Exactly. Which means Bunny is in trouble. We don't have time. Rima stood frozen for a second, then grabbed her phone and ran after Tina. Let's go, she said. I'm not letting him get away with this. Chapter 15. Bunny leaned against the cold wall, her wrist aching from the rope marks, her breath shallow, body bruised, soul shattered. Tears streamed down her face. Why? Why do bad things always happen to me? She stared blankly into the dim light of the storeroom. Was I cursed? Unlucky? Naive? She slowly straightened herself up, brushing her messy hair off her bruised cheek. Her jaw tightened. If she was going to die, she would die fighting. But she would never, never let Arjun win. Suddenly, rushed footsteps. Her body tensed. She knew that sound. Arjun. He appeared in front of her, breathing heavily, eyes wild. Fury danced across his face. You think you're smart, he spat, and before he could react, slap. Bunny didn't flinch. Another blow, then another. But she just stared at him, in disbelief, in heartbreak, in disgust. The man she once dreamed of marrying now looked like a beast, a monster. Her stomach twisted. She wanted to puke. He screamed and punched, but she didn't utter a word until he pulled out a gun. The metal gleamed as he loaded it, shaking with rage. Bunny closed her eyes, lips trembling. Slam! The door burst open, voices shouting, boots stomping. She turned her head slowly, vision blurry from tears and swelling. Police officers stormed in. Behind them, Tina and Rima. Arjun turned towards them but was instantly pinned down and cuffed. Let me go, he roared, but the officers held him firm. Bunny sat motionless. She didn't know whether to cry or scream or collapse. She looked at Tina and Rima. They looked back, not with judgment, not with pity, but with worry, real raw worry. Rima rushed forward and knelt beside her, arms wrapping around her trembling frame. It's okay. You're okay now, she whispered. Bunny's eyes welled again, but this time it wasn't fear. It was a shame. How did I not see through him? How could I have loved someone so vile? Tina stood nearby, her eyes misty but strong. She gave a small nod of reassurance. As the officers dragged Arjun away, Bunny finally let her weight fall into Rima's shoulder. I'm sorry, she whispered hoarsely. I'm so sorry. Rima just held her tighter. Let's get you to the hospital, she said softly. And they walked out, broken but not defeated. Chapter 16. Bunny lay on the hospital bed, bandaged and bruised. The room smelled of antiseptic, but her thoughts were far messier than her wounds. Tina and Rima stood at the edge of her bed. Silence filled the space. Bunny's eyes darted between them, full of doubt, full of hurt. You don't have to pretend like you're happy. I'm safe, Bunny muttered, her voice low. I can already see that look in your eyes, like you won or something. Rima and Tina exchanged a glance. Tina let out a sigh, calm but clear. You're doing it again, Bunny, victimizing yourself. She pulled out a file from her bag, thick with documents, and placed it on the side table. That's everything. The property, the bank stuff. I'm done. I don't want to feel like I owe you anything or that I'm somehow responsible for your life. Tina let out a sigh, calm but clear. You can't change Bunny, and I can't either. She paused, her voice steady. There's no more space in each other's heart for who we really are now. We're just not right as friends anymore. And that's okay. She gave a small smile. Not cold, just real. I wish you a good life ahead. With that, she turned around and left. Her shoulders relaxed. For the first time in a while, she felt free. Rima stepped forward next. I don't think we're perfect, Bunny. None of us are. But we need to stop making life harder for ourselves. She looked down for a moment, then back at Bunny. You've been through a lot. But sometimes pain stays longer because we hold on to it, not because the world is cruel. Her voice was soft, but honest. I hope one day you won't feel that pain anymore, even when we are not around. She gave Bunny a gentle nod. Take care. Then Rima too turned around and walked out. Lighter, clearer, done. Bunny stayed there still. The door slowly clicked shut. The room was quiet again, but inside Bunny, the noise hadn't stopped. She stared at the ceiling. No sense of peace, no relief, just a growing emptiness. And that's where it ended. Not with hugs, not with closure, but with truth.